Champ is in the house. UFC bantamweight champion Dominick Cruz is joining the show this morning, limping in here.
I'm not limping.
Well, what's going on?
No.
Obviously, you know, you had the big knee injury. Yeah, you had the surgery, right?
I had the surgery.
So you're good to go.
Yeah, it's been about 6 weeks since the surgery. My leg's healing up fine. I'm ahead of schedule on the healing. But the bad thing is ACL, MCL. The second you try to feel like I'm good, I'm an animal, I can train.
Right.
Re-tear your knee out. So it's gonna be one of those things where I have to really hold myself.
You have to like temper yourself to want to get in there and train and all that stuff, right?
100%.
So what does that rehab process entail? Is it like slow working out? Can you even get on a mat?
Yeah, I've been in the gym already, but it's mostly like I'm coaching, helping out my team at Alliance. We got a lot of guys coming up. Brandon Vera's coming up. Phil Davis coming up. Ross Pearson is doing the Ultimate Fighter in Australia.
Yeah.
We've got my gym that's out in El Cajon that's doing real well. So there's just tons of stuff for me to be into right now, and at the same time, you know, I'm still.
This is keeping you busy.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, and I'm still working my upper body. I'm still getting my exercising,
Right.
and it's just it can't be particular fight training.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Ultimate Fighter. You know, you were a coach this last season. You know, the first time that it was ever live. It was the first time it was ever on FX. Talk about it a little bit. How was the overall experience for you?
The experience was just learning, really. I mean, it's something that you don't really understand is how much work it is to do a television show.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Really?
I had no idea.
Oh, it's very similar to this radio show. I mean, it's just like non-stop preparation.
See, I wouldn't think so.
You know, you could have made it seem
Oh yeah, we work like 24 hours a day here. We're like
non-stop.
always working.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I'm exhausted right now. No, why do you say that? Like, is it literally like 24 hours a day, or?
Well, the reason why it was hard is because I was getting ready for a title fight at the same time as I'm coaching these guys. These guys have to have 2 practices a day to prepare for themselves, and then I have to have 2 practices a day to prepare for myself. And at the same time, you got interviews in between. You have media. You have radio hits, stuff like that. So you end up working
non-stop.
Yeah, 12 hour days, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just very busy.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
And what did you obviously your feud with Uriah is very well, chronicled. You and Uriah Faber don't get along. You were the 2 opposing coaches on there. Was there ever a moment during the taping where you thought, dude, we may go right now? I mean, I don't know. I mean, did you ever, lose it a little bit?
Yeah, I lost it a lot of it.
He just gets under your skin, right? I mean, it's just...
Yeah, he's just a turd. You know, the
Turd.
the bottom line is it doesn't really matter. You got to stay composed because, there's stuff to do. The show's really more about the guys than it is about me.
Right.
Me and Faber.
Sure.
And that's how I look at it.
But that's still good television.
Yeah.
We got into it a few times, and that was no joke. So.
Is it his butt chin? Does it just really annoy you?
It's
like his third eye, but it's on his chin.
It's
weird.
It's just easy to make fun of.
Yeah.
Now, we actually had Uriah on the show during the filming. It was before you were injured, so you guys were still going to fight. And I asked him, why do you guys not like each other? And this is what he said about you. Now, Dominic, you're our boy. You're a San Diego guy. We defended you.
Yeah, we did.
We were like, screw that. Sorry, Uriah. We're in Dominick's camp, and we wouldn't let him talk crap about you. So what is it specifically about Uriah that just gets under your skin?
Well, that right there, you spot it, you got it. It's what somebody wise once told me. So there's a lot of things that he's saying about me that I feel the same way about him. I mean, it goes both ways. So I thought he was a jerk, too, when I first met him. I thought all the same stuff. So I think we just...
Oil and water.
I think we're just, we're just different people, and we want to beat each other up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Normally what happens when, there's a famous feud in the UFC, I mean, you can just point back at this whole Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva thing, is that they'll talk a lot of stuff, they'll be angry with each other, they'll fight, and then squash. With you guys, that didn't happen. I mean, you guys still didn't like each other, even after you fought twice.
After the first one, after the first fight we had, he was just a real prick about it.
Yeah.
And I was in the back, and I lost the fight, and he's like, he had a real smart aleck comment towards me that I never forgot. That he plays off like I was real nice. Yeah, in the cage you were nice. You shook my hand for the fans, but when we're in the back, when the real, salesman favor comes out, the car salesman favor comes out, you get to see how he really is, and it was pretty disrespectful. So that stuck with me, and I came back, and I knew I was going to beat him, and I knew we were going to see each other again. And you know what, after we fought the second time, it's common sense. You fought twice, you're 1-1, what's going to happen?
There's going to be a rubber match.
Again, and you know it. So, screw you, I'm going to whoop you again.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, So
one of my favorite things I've ever seen was UFC has some different shows now on Fuel TV, and I believe it was UFC either Tonight or UFC Ultimate Insider that they actually got you and Uriah together, and they made you watch your fight together and break it down.
Awkward.
It was the most awkward, and I literally, Uriah would say something, and I could see Dominick just seething. Like, really? Like, are you not watching the same thing I am? What was that like?
Well, he's just, it's like talking to a wall. Like, you can see what's going on in front of you, you can see everything that's happening, and he's just kind of making excuses and saying, that's not happening, it's this way. Like, dude, it's right in front of you.
It's like the sky's blue. No, it isn't.
What's wrong with you,
right.
man? You're crazy.
Yes.
Just admit you lost
like
the
he was
fight,
saying,
which you never will.
He's like, you're not even hitting me. And then they'd show you hitting him. And you're like, well, wait a minute. I don't know what you're
And then how do you argue that?
Right.
Right.
I mean, if
kind
the
of
guy's not gonna see it, he's not gonna see it, So you just kind of go with it. But that was probably one of the closest we've been. Like, I felt we walked out of there and like I needed to pour water on myself. I was just fuming hot. I know he was. And, there's actually been other ones too that we've had to, they literally had us facing each other. And the guy would go, so, Dominick, why are you going to beat Uriah Faber? And I go, well, this, and this. And I'm talking to the guy. He goes, no, tell Faber. So we're literally facing each other from like a foot away.
Do they realize you punch people for the living?
Right?
We're going to beat the crap out of each other. And it's like, what are you doing?
That's crazy.
Right
and vice versa. Like, if somebody's telling me how they're going to beat my ass, like, right to my face, I'd be like, what?
Exactly. You're
really?
Like, wow, okay, let's do this.
Now, do you have any leeway with something like that? I mean, obviously you're under contracts, you've made agreements with networks and groups and whatever. Can you say, hey, no, we don't want to do this face-to-face thing, or is just kind of like part of the job?
I think because me and Faber are professional, we look at it, both of us, I'll say, as part of the job. I know that because I look at it that way, and we haven't fought at one of these interviews
That's
yet.
true.
So,
yeah.
That being said, we both look at it like it's part of the job, and we know we're going to fight, so we just have to kind of hold back until that time happens. It'll happen. We know it.
Yeah.
Well, in all sports, the unprofessional comes out. Has there ever been a moment where it got there? It went to unprofessional, or so close that someone was escorted out?
There's just been things where it started getting a little too much, and you kind of just go your separate ways.
Like physical or words?
No, it's always words, but sometimes it goes below the belt every here and there, And when that happens, everybody feels it. The weirdest thing is when me and Faber in the same room, you can everybody in the room kind of gets silent and they never turn their head at you. They just move their eyes towards you.
You're just waiting. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, they're just looking at you all weird. Like, their face is turning the other way. Only their eyes looking at you. They're waiting for something bad to happen. Everybody's silent. It's so awkward.
Now, is there any kind of clause, or does Dana White say anything to you guys before the filming starts that is like, hey guys, it can't ever get physical?
No, I mean...
So if it happens, it happens?
Yeah, but...
that's awesome.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Now, you're in the middle of filming the season. You're one of the coaches, and you're gearing up, like you said, to fight Uriah. You guys were supposed to fight at the end of the season, and you're going to defend your title. Then the knee injury happens. Tell us exactly what happened, because it wasn't caught on film. They had cameras on you the whole time. It wasn't caught on film. What exactly happened when you hurt your knee?
Well, this wasn't on film because this was my own personal training camp that I hurt myself in.
Right.
And, there's the filming with the guys, and I don't really train myself while I'm coaching the guys. I have my own separate practices outside. And I was sparring, and it was like a weird roll that one of the guys that I train with all the time went for. And it just popped my knee real bad, and I ended up partially tearing my MCL and completely tearing my ACL.
When you say pop your knee, what do you, you literally, you felt your knee come undone?
No, it's literally like a giant loud pop.
So you hear it?
Oh yeah, the guy who did it heard it and stopped.
I'm
sorry. And you just kind of fall and grab your knee, kind of like you're in the movies or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you know it was bad right away?
Yeah. But I was in denial. So I was kind of like, I'll be fine. It only popped once. You know, if it pops once,
Wait.
Like I'll pop my knee once and it's sometimes good.
Okay.
But then 2-3 times, pop, like you're screwed. That's how you know different
Dude.
tendons have been. But I popped it once really, really loud, so it ended up being real bad. And I tried to play it off like I was going to be fine and try to see if I could tough
Still
it out.
fight?
But at ACL, you can't. Like, your whole knee just pops out, and then if you keep going, you tear more, and then you're out longer. And
your whole, style is movement and footwork and stuff like that. So you're constantly moving side to side and stuff like that. So clearly you're going to need your ACL. Have they talked to you at all? Like the doctors talk to you? Like, are you going to be okay? Like your footwork's going to be good?
I'll be 100%. I swear. I mean, I'm already ahead of schedule. The hard part is going to be just getting the muscle back quickly and efficiently while not re-tearing your knee doing that.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. So, just stay focused, stay slow, but I will be 100%. And literally, I went and saw the doctor yesterday, and they move around your knee to kind of see how strong it is, and it's stronger than it was before. It's stronger than my other knee now because everything's been tightened up. And he went in there and just did everything all over. I got a 21-year-old knee now.
Nice.
And feeling good. It's just going to take time.
Well, after the injury happened, when did it set in? Like all the stuff that now went away. The title fight went away. The fact that you weren't going to be having the fight with Uriah, like all that stuff. When did that all set in for you?
That set in the most when Dana White came on the show and they brought in Barao and they faced each other, and I was right there, and I just had to literally stand there and kind of give away my spot. And it was rough. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. And other than that, it was hard to kind of get in the mindset of you're not training in a camp anymore. Like you're done with training camp now. I was.
You still had a coach, right?
Yeah, I was still coaching, and I was in great shape. I was already my body was ready to go into this hardcore, and it was just hard to shut my brain off. Like my brain didn't want to accept the fact that you need to sit out.
How did you win that mental battle though? Because that literally that's a mental. You do physical activity for a living. You are a physical person. Is there hey guys, I need 5 minutes alone on the bag, just punching it, or what are you doing to win that mental battle and beat that?
Well, to be honest, that was actually really hard, but the fact that I had the guys to coach kind of was able to set my own problems aside and say, I want to get these guys through the show, get these guys to the end, get somebody through all the way to the end, and just put all my time into these guys now.
Oh, good for you.
That's all you can do.
Yeah,
what
that's
else
awesome.
Are you gonna do? You can feel sorry for yourself, or you can figure out something else. So that's what I'm doing, and now I'm done with the show. The guys did great. We built a great relationship on there. All those guys, a lot of them are going to come out and train for their fights now.
Nice.
I'm helping my team in Alliance.
Yeah.
I'm helping build the gym out in El Cajon. So all this stuff is
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we got to talk to Dominick about the fight this weekend. That somebody's going to be walking around with your belt. Kind of.
No, they're not.
Kind of. We'll talk about that when we get back.